Hello, and congratulations on becoming a new Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority public housing resident. Our goal is to help you settle into a safe and affordable temporary living environment. As a resident, you're required to follow all rules and regulations to qualify for PRHA public housing. So let's get moving. We'll start with moving in. After you are assigned a housing unit and have completed the move-in paperwork, an inspection will be done to make sure everything works properly. It's up to you to note any damages in the unit and record it in the inspection report. You will receive a copy of the report for your records. When you move out, a final inspection will be conducted. You will be responsible for all damages beyond normal wear and tear that occur while you were a resident of the unit. After the inspection, you will be handed 2 keys to your unit. PRHA does not create spare keys. However, residents are allowed to have duplicates made at their own expense. We urge you to give one of your keys to a reliable family member, close friend, or trustworthy neighbor who can help you in the event you get locked out or lose your keys. During regular business hours, we may be able to send maintenance personnel to assist you. However, due to their busy schedules, you may not receive immediate assistance. After business hours, you will have to call and pay for a locksmith. The Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority does not carry insurance on your personal property. We recommend that you obtain renter's insurance. PRHA will not be responsible for personal possessions lost due to a fire or any other disasters. All trash is to be temporarily stored in a trash can in your unit until you take it to the dumpster or curbside bin. Trash is not allowed in the hallways at any time. Do not store trash in your unit for extended time periods. It can attract rodents and insects. Bulky items, such as old furniture, must be taken to the curb for removal on the day designated for bulk trash. Items should not be set out before 6 p.m. the day before pickup. Pickup days for bulk trash are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays only. All senior housing communities and some family communities have a laundry room available for your convenience. All other family units have washer and dryer hookups with the exception of Swanson Homes and Lincoln Park. These communities only have washer hookups. Smoking is never allowed in the laundry rooms or common areas. Please keep the dryers lint-free and help keep the laundry room clean for others. It is also important to keep in mind that using the washers and dryers during late or early morning hours can be disturbing to residents whose units are adjacent to laundry rooms. Please keep their peace and comfort in mind. Parking spaces are not assigned, but are available to residents with properly registered vehicles. Parking decals are provided by the management staff. Parking is not based on need or the length of time you have been living in a community. Parking spaces are limited. Friends and family who park in tenant spaces will have their vehicles towed at their expense. Make sure your visitors understand that parking spaces are for residents only. Visitor passes are provided in some communities. Others offer on-street parking for visitors. Abandoned and junk cars will also be towed at the owner's expense. No vehicle repairs are to be done on-site. We encourage you to become an active member of your community's resident association. Your involvement will make your community safer and better. Monthly meetings are held in your local community room or at another designated location. Pets are allowed in many senior and family unit communities as long as you follow the rules and regulations of our pet policy. You must complete a pet addendum upon moving in, and a pet deposit is required. Contact management staff if you wish to obtain a pet. Pet babysitting is not allowed, no matter how temporary. Some units have garbage disposals. If you're not familiar with how to use a garbage disposal, call the office and we will have a maintenance person give you a demonstration. Items such as cigarette butts, meat scraps, and meat bones should never be placed in a garbage disposal. Please make sure to run plenty of cold water through the disposal when grinding garbage to ensure free flow through your kitchen plumbing. It is your responsibility to keep your unit clean and cared for to prevent health, safety, or sanitation problems. Please notify management staff of any needed repairs or maintenance problems in your unit or community common areas. That includes any need for pest extermination or the repair of unsafe conditions you see in your unit or common areas that can lead to damage or injury. Alert management staff as soon as possible if you notice any defects in plumbing, fixtures, appliances, smoke detectors, heating and air conditioning units, or other parts of your community. Everyone in your community is entitled to peace and quiet. Please use common courtesy to keep noise to a minimum between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. every night, including weekends. If you experience noise problems, please contact your rental office. Immediately report any accidents that occur in the hallways or on PRHA property. We are required to report all accidents to our insurance company. Following a few simple security measures will ensure the safety and health of your community. Most buildings in our developments are locked. Visitors can only gain entry by using the intercom system. All visitors must be accompanied by a resident. Never let anyone in the building that you do not know. Do not prop open doors or leave the front doors of your building open so that guests won't need a key. This is a very dangerous practice. The building is locked and secured for your protection and the protection of your neighbors. Rent is due on the first day of each month. Rental payments are considered past due on the 6th day of the month. If your rent is not paid by the 5th of the month, you will be required to pay a late charge of $5 on the 6th and $1 each day thereafter until it is paid. If you do not pay your rent by the 10th day of the month, you will be required to pay a late charge totaling 5% of your monthly rent, or a maximum of $20. This is for low-income public housing and project-based voucher units. Flat rent or market rent will automatically be charged a late fee of $20 if the rent is not paid by the 5th of the month. Checks should be made payable to the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority. Your payment must include a rent slip and be mailed to PRHA, P.O. Box 1098, Portsmouth, Virginia 23705. You can also drop your payment in the drop box located at the PRHA main office, located at 3116 South Street. Only residents of Effingham Plaza and Phoebus Square have a drop box available in their rental office. If you're making a payment for something other than rent, such as a pet deposit, please send the amount to the office in a separate check or money order, which includes your name and address. If your rent check is returned due to insufficient bank funds, you will be required to pay your rent with either a money order or a cashier's check thereafter. There are no exceptions to this requirement. During the application process, we determined your monthly rent. Your rental rate is reviewed and redetermined annually. During the year, it is important for you to keep track of all medical bills you paid that were not covered by insurance. Canceled checks are especially helpful, and prescription printouts are required. Pharmacy receipts are not accepted as proof of medical expenses. You will receive a copy of your lease when you move in. Please read your lease thoroughly. It describes your obligations to the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority and our obligations to you. Refer to your lease agreement anytime you have questions. If you are still unsure, please call and discuss it with the management staff. Terminating your lease requires a 30-day written notice. There are a number of reasons that PRHA can terminate your lease, including the following: failure to pay rent or other charges due under the lease, such as utilities, making a late rental payment 4 or more times within a 12-month calendar year, failure to pay damages, utility charges, late fees, and other charges at the time that they are due, failure to report at the time stated in the Notice of Annual Reexamination as scheduled by the management staff, creating or maintaining a threat to the health and safety of other residents or employees of the management staff, receiving 3 summonses for unlawful detainer for non-payment of rent or other charges within a 12-month calendar year, receiving 3 or more yard cleaning tickets within a 6-month period, a resident or a member of the resident's household charged with any felony, violent crime, or crime involving physical assaults, destruction of property, drugs, or other illegal substances, assault that results in bodily injury to residents or management staff, maintaining your apartment in a way that creates a fire or safety hazard or an unsanitary condition. This includes tampering with smoke detectors, vandalizing PRHA property, discharging firearms on PRHA property, illegal possession of a weapon or ammunition, possession of an illegal weapon or firearm, knowingly harboring fugitives from the law, setting fire to leased premises, housing development buildings, facilities, trash receptacles, or common areas, allowing individuals not listed on your lease to live in your unit, determination that a family member has knowingly permitted an ineligible non-citizen not listed on the lease to reside in your unit, determination or discovery that a resident is a registered sex offender, current or past misrepresentation, fraud, false statements, or failure to disclose facts determining rent, eligibility, or family composition. This includes, but is not limited to, failure to reveal your criminal history or that of any occupant of your residence as listed in your application for public housing. Failure to advise PRHA of any criminal conduct by you or any occupant of your unit during the time period between your initial application and the start of your lease, if that conduct would have affected your eligibility to enter into this lease. The Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority is mandated to implement and administer a public housing community service program which requires all public housing residents 18 years and older to perform at least 8 hours per month in community service or an economic self-sufficiency program. The Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority may not renew or extend any lease or provide any new lease for a dwelling unit in public housing for any household that included an adult member who was subject to the requirement and failed to comply with this requirement. We understand that maintenance emergencies can and do occur. Please be aware of the following policies of emergency maintenance service. The following qualify as a maintenance emergency: fire, flooding or major leaks of any kind, break-ins and damage to PRHA property, inoperable smoke alarms or carbon monoxide detectors, power outages, gas leaks, broken windows based on security breach, temperature factor, and/or safety hazard, clogged toilets when there is only one commode in a unit, broken or stuck elevators, hot water heater leaks or ruptures, no heat when outside temperatures are below 55 degrees, no air conditioning when outside temperatures are above 90 degrees, snow and ice removal. Residents will be charged for emergency service when damages are not determined to be the responsibility of PRHA. Many residents call for emergency maintenance services for problems that should and will be handled during regular business hours. Please do not call for emergency maintenance assistance when the following situations occur: inoperable power outlet, inadequate water supply, broken windows. Some exceptions may apply. No window lock. Refrigerators not working. Please keep the refrigerator door closed until the next morning. Stove not working. If any of these problems do arise, simply call in a work order request on the next working day. Operating instructions for smoke and carbon monoxide detector. 4 consecutive beeps followed by a pause and another 4 beeps indicate carbon monoxide detected. 3 consecutive beeps followed by a pause and another 3 beeps indicate smoke detected. 1 beep followed by a pause and another beep indicates a low battery. In an emergency situation, please call 911. In a non-emergency situation during normal business hours, please contact your rental office. In a non-emergency situation after normal business hours, please call TASCO at 757-398-9141 and the emergency crew will be contacted. For air conditioning, the fan setting should always be on automatic. If it is set to on, it's not working the AC. It is circulating the fan air. Set the system setting to cool and then move the up and down arrow to set the AC temperature you would like. For heat, set to heat and then move the up and down arrow to set the temperature you would like. To turn the system completely off, turn to off. Operating instructions for pull cords, Effingham Plaza and Phoebus Square only. The emergency pull cord in your unit is for emergency purposes only. Please be aware that when the cord is pulled, it dispatches the police, fire department, and ambulance to ensure the safety of all residents. Falsely pulled cords will cause these services to be dispatched when they are not needed, which could result in the city billing the property for false calls. Just as a reminder, please do not pull the cord or allow your guests to pull the cord unless it is a medical emergency. To promote a healthier and safer living environment and reduce potential health hazards associated with smoking, secondhand smoke exposure, and residential fires, the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority implemented a smoke-free policy on July 1st, 2012. This is a universal policy and applies to all residents, employees, guests, service providers, and non-residents. Smoking will not be permitted in PRHA buildings and facilities, including resident dwelling units. This policy will be administered by PRHA in accordance with the following guidelines. Please refer to the Smoke-Free Housing Policy and Addendum. That should cover it. We understand that a lot of information was given. Should there be anything you do not understand or if you need more information, please do not hesitate to ask the management staff. Welcome to the neighborhood.